worry about it. He had to stay there X number of days until everything calmed down, and then some of the priests and judges would bring the parties together and get that thing resolved. Well, see, God is telling us now, I'm your refuge. How many of us realize you need that now? I don't care what the circumstances out there in the world, you need him as your refuge. Now you must understand, the very next verse, I'm going to give that one, because that's part of the text too. It says in Romans 5 and verse 8, but God, meaning Elohim, commanded his love towards us. See, God's love is always towards whosoever will. It doesn't matter. Long as you were not like those angels who did not keep their first estate, as you can read in Jude, and you're born of a woman, whosoever will, let them come. Because his love is toward us. And when we understand that, we are not so easily pushed and carried away with nonsense. In that while we were yet sinners, who did he die for? Christ died what? For us. Now everybody just read that, they don't realize, for us. Do you understand what the word for means even in the natural? It has an object or purpose. There's an objective purpose when God say for us. To run. Have you not read the Bible say all run a race? But what the book say, run so you win. Okay? The intended to belong to or be used in conjunction with. Think about what, even the definition of the word for. Meaning God has given you everything you need to work in conjunction with him so that you can understand what he's already done for us. Doesn't matter what state you might be in right now, because when you really think about it, we'll get there. I'm gonna let Brother Isaiah tell you something in a minute, but until we get there, hold on. Let's go. Now, you might not think it was in the beginning. It was. Same thing. God has not changed. We say he's Alpha and Omega. He hasn't changed. Genesis 26, verse 22. Very powerful verse. If you got eyes to see and ears to hear. At this time, there was a great deal of controversy over who can water whose sheep. I'm going to get in that, and they having a big to-do and all of that stuff. See, a lot of times we think that we can do some things, and all you got to do is be humble before God. So here's what we see here. And I'd encourage you to read it if you want the whole story, but look what it says there. And he removed from thence. In other words, he just got himself out the mess. Sometimes we just need to get ourselves out of that mess. Some stuff that need, people be trying, and dig another well. Now you may say, what is that? I'm going to let the word. And for that they stove not. In other words, that's an old English word saying they was fighting. Stove, I mean, we boxing about, hey man, your sheep, it's all kind of nonsense going on. He said, because they stove not since I just moved down a step or two. Oh, it just moved up. And he called the name of the place Rehoboth. And he said, why? For now, listen now, for now, the Lord, Yahweh Daddy, has made what? Room for us. Do you realize that's who makes room for you? I don't think y'all understand. When you're going through some crazy stuff, and everybody trying to press you on all sides, and they trying to tell you, you must think you better than anybody else, and they're stoving with you. They're just pushing you. Shoot, you ain't all of that. Sometimes you just step back. Go on, right. Let them talk themselves into what they're saying, and let it all come out. And then what will God do? He will make room for you, that you can come in and kick you, but he'll move you to the side so that God, because if you don't understand that, you'll try to battle it for yourself. You can't win when you try to do it like that. The Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be what? Fruitful in the land. So that for us means something, don't it? In other words, he begins to, and you have to understand, it refers to we, when us, all inclusive. God is not ruling anybody out. It said it's not my will that any should perish, but now they can choose it. How many times you've heard this? Proverbs 18 and 16. And if you don't understand it and you don't put them two together, who gave you the gifts? You didn't get them from nobody else but God. Whatever you do, a man's gift make room for him and bringeth him before great men. In other words, once you understand that God has made room for us, no matter what in life that he's programmed in you, it's already done. I know what my thoughts are towards you. Love and peace and to give you an expected end. Jeremiah 29 and 11. He's made room for each and every one of us. What do you mean? I ain't got no job, but it ain't his fault. Because he made room for us. Okay, how much somebody fighting against me? He's made room for me. I don't care how somebody trying to oppress us. He's made room for it. Not only that, if they overdo it, like God sent one of the boys to kind of chastise his children, but they went overboard. Like some of us try to do, we're going to correct somebody, so we go overboard. You get to putting them down in ways God ain't never heard of. But you got to be careful now. Especially when God's people were trying to build the wall. So if anybody messing with you, understand this. Nehemiah was trying to build a wall. They had folks coming at him, said like 75 going south. And if I get in there, it take time. But understand that it doesn't matter. He told them, I'm too busy to come down off the wall. Let's go to Nehemiah 4 and 20. See, a lot of times when you see things symbolically presented here now, that means when the trumpet blows, they knew the cavalry was coming. You know what I'm saying? There was going to be a war, a fight somewhere.